We start today in Puerto Rico, where Governor Pedro Pierluisi, along with FEMA leadership, announced that 15 projects to help Puerto Rico's power grids have now been approved. Officials say the historic amount of funds to rebuild the island's power grid represents an opportunity to build back better. Our Francis Felix reports.
Puerto Rico's electrical generation, transmission, and distribution system are on track to be restored with the approval of funding for 15 projects under FEMA's Accelerated Obligation Strategy. The projects represent more than $107.3 million in approved federal funds to launch what will become a more reliable electric grid for all residents of Puerto Rico. This project is part of a teamwork between FEMA, CORE, LUMA, and the Authority of Electric Energy.
The idea here is we work together with CORE3, PREPA, and LUMA in terms of them sending us projects that they, in the order that they have them ready for evaluation. Those projects include, street lighting, substations, and the work might mean in terms of mitigation. Some of those substations might be elevated because they're subject to flooding. So it includes a whole variety of projects, substations in different parts of the islands, generation projects for PREPA. It includes a whole, myriad of projects that include generation, transmission, and distribution, and street lighting.
On the south coast, planned installations attend to the damage caused by 2020 earthquakes. The reconstruction in the complex has the capacity to generate about a third of the energy of the island.
Maria was the biggest disaster in FEMA's history, and the amount of money that has been obligated for projects in Puerto Rico is historical. So that's everybody is aware that the damage caused by Maria was catastrophic. So it's important for us not only to complete the phase of obligating, which is what we call assigning the money for the project, but for those projects to be completed. So we're working together with CORE3, the municipalities, any sub-recipients in making sure that the projects are executed as quickly as possible. Not only we want to rebuild what we had, but we have to make it better than it was, so it can be more resistant to hurricanes, to earthquakes, for whatever natural disasters that can, and that's what the word resilience means. It means making it more resistant to future disasters that might happen. That's why we assign additional money for the projects that we obligate in terms of what can we do. For example, you can have a building that some of the windows were blown away and some were not. And we might obligate and say, okay, we're going to replace all the windows in the whole building, those that were damaged and those that were not, with more resistant windows. That's a very simple example of what resilience might mean. Well, we have been making progress. I mean, you have to remember that LUMA came in last year. Now everybody, I think, feels that the momentum has been growing. Now it's going to be easier to make the projects work because now we know what we expect of each other, what everybody's role is. So that is better defined now. We're working together. We finally kind of mesh, and I think we're going to see a lot of progress.
Governor Pierluisi expects that 21 more projects will be approved and in progress by the end of this summer. Reporting from Guaynabo, Puerto Rico, Francis Felix.
All right, thanks so much, Francis. In the meantime, the storms part of the Caribbean experience this weekend is a sure sign that the 2022 Atlantic hurricane season is here, especially the rainfall seen in Grand Bahama and Abaco. Our One Caribbean News' Deandra Hamilton reports.
Grand Bahama and Abaco were with heavy downpours for most of the day on Saturday. Localized flooding and near tropical storm force winds resulted in the shutdown of the islands in the northwest Bahamas. But by Sunday midday, the all clear was issued, and potential Cyclone Juan, which killed at least 3 people in Cuba, had morphed to Tropical Storm Alex with Bermuda in its crosshairs. It was a signal that without a doubt, the 2022 Atlantic hurricane season had begun. In the Turks and Caicos Islands, there was no inclement weather, and that worked well as residents of the British Overseas Territory spent the weekend in Platinum Jubilee celebration mode, in sync with the UK, which was marking the 70th anniversary of Queen Elizabeth's ascent to the throne. On Governor's Beach in Grand Turk, a bonfire beacon was lit, marshmallows roasted, and there were fireworks.
Grand Turk, thank you so much for coming to join us to celebrate the Queen's Jubilee. We light this beacon, and this beacon is being lit in every capital city, in every country of the Commonwealth. 54 capital cities across the globe that stretch from the Pacific through South Asia, through Europe and the Americas, are with us, 2 billion people or more lighting fires, including fires across the UK. And with that, I have no more to say than I hope you really enjoy this evening, and as a surprise, I think we're going to have some fireworks.
Saturday was the Queen's Birthday Honors Parade, Sunday special service at St. Mary's Pro Cathedral, and on Monday, a cricket match. The TCI's governor also ensured trees were planted at the various schools, the Turks and Caicos adding to the Queen's canopy, a green initiative which saw 1 million trees planted around the world in honor of her coronation, which took place on June 2nd, 1953. DeAndre Hamilton reporting.
All right, thanks so much for that report, DeAndre. Well, on the COVID-19 front, millions of COVID vaccine doses have been wasted in the United States. That's all according to data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. From December of 2020 through mid-May, pharmacies, states, U.S. territories, and federal agencies discarded over 82 million COVID vaccines. Two retail pharmacy chains, CVS and Walmart, were responsible for over a quarter of those thrown away in the U.S. during that time period. The wasted vaccine doses include some that expired on pharmacy shelves before they could be used, and others were tossed at the end of the day when no one wanted the last few doses in an open vial. According to providers, declining demand, large minimum orders, and multi-dose vials make it hard to avoid waste while still offering shots to anyone who wants them. Well, meantime, JetBlue wants to acquire Spirit Airlines, and the company is now increasing its offer to buy the low-cost carrier. Last month, Spirit rejected an offer from JetBlue, saying it didn't think the government regulators would approve of the deal. Spirit then decided to move forward with the merge with fellow budget airline Frontier instead. On Monday, however, JetBlue raised the terms of its deal, offering Spirit shareholders a cash bid of $31.50 per share. Now that's an increase from $30 a share. JetBlue says it will also increase the so-called breakup fee, and it would pay them out from $200 million to $350 million. That's if regulators blocked the deal. Spirit said Monday its board would consider this new proposal.